Well, back to Fog Racing, first fair of 2021, and we feel like we're going to rank the 2020 drivers. We did this earlier, but this is actually based on the season, not what they did in years gone by, bro. And we'll start from left to right, and we'll start essentially from the bottom, because we've got Alexander Albon now. I mean, there should be a category worse than worst for this guy, but I don't think anyone else had a worse season.
Basically, the lowest category you can get, stick this guy in it, and he's going to be going in our worst category. So,
yeah. If you're new to this channel, we don't like Alexander. Well, I mean, I don't like the guy.
I don't like the guy. He's just fucking pish.
Shit. Yeah, I mean,
plus that time he complained about them racing him hard. Like that was a bit.
They race me so hard.
What do you want? Oh, this guy's not Red Bull. Let's just let him through. Fucking hell. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. He's not good. I'm so fucking glad Perez is in that seat. We move on. Next up, we've got Valtteri Bottas, and I think average. Helped them win the constructors. Did hee-haw against Hamilton.
For me, you could have probably sat in that Mercedes and helped them to win the constructors.
He did beat Hamilton a few times. I wouldn't say it was bad.
Yeah, did he beat him on merit? Did he ever beat him once? Some legit.
He beat him a few times in quali. I'll give him that. He was.
I think you could make a case for it being bad though. But you know what? We'll go with good. We'll give him the benefit.
Yeah, I think Bottas is pish, but yeah, but you know what?
No, I don't think he's pish, but I think that was probably his worst season. Like I don't know.
I'd say 2019 was.
Well, we seem to be getting worse and worse. Let's put it that way.
Next up, Daniel Ricardo.
Well, I mean, he did get 2 podiums, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I think based on that alone, and he did kind of convincingly beat Ocon. I think you'd have to say he had a really great season.
Yes, I think he did. If Alonso gets in that Renault, hopefully he'll have a great wee season. And Ocon, I'd say bad. I thought this guy was good, close to Perez, and didn't do much.
He did get a podium, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, but it wasn't really on merit. It was kind of... I mean, Perez actually worked his way through the field for that one, while him and Stroll just got lucky because everyone else pitted and they didn't. Still, he did get a podium, but besides that, there was a few other performances, but overall it was pretty shocking.
I think he out-qualified Ricardo once.
And it was in the wet.
Which, you know, it's just not good enough. I mean, Ricardo's not the kind of... It's not like he's getting whipped here by Prime Alonso. I think to lose, 20 to 1 in qualifying to Danny Rick, like, that's pretty poor. So, especially considering since Danny Rick's more known as a Sunday guy rather than a Saturday guy.
Exactly.
So, yeah, bad. He got the podium, but overall, I mean, I don't think Ocon would look at this as a good season.
No.
And that's why he is going in the bad category. So,
Yep. Next up, we've got Pierre Gasly.
Great. I think he had a great season. I think he had a better season than Danny Rick.
Yep.
I've got to say, the only reason I wouldn't put him in the best is because I think towards the end of the season he got outperformed a wee bit in some races by Kvyat. I mean, overall, he still had a great season. And
won a race.
He was far better than Kvyat over the course of the season. But I did notice towards the end, there was a few races where Kvyat, did beat him clean, fair and square, whereas at the start, that just was not the case. For the good, first 2/3 of the season, Gasly completely annihilated Kvyat, really. But then, I noticed in the last third, it was a bit more... It was probably, towards the end, it was pretty close between Gasly and Kvyat. But, like I say, got the first win. And, man, he was just great season to bounce back after, getting demoted from Red Bull. In my opinion, it's a season that should have earned him promotion back to Red Bull. But, I mean, I guess we got Perez, so, I mean, I can't complain too much.
Quite frankly, I don't give a damn.
Overall,
Next up, we've got Antonio Giovinazzi, and I'm going to put this guy in good, because you know what? That car's awful, and he actually out-qualified Kimi.
Yeah, I mean, he out-qualified Kimi, but what Kimi did he beat? 40-year-olds, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Aye, but you've got to factor in, that Alpha's awful, and there was races, where Kimi was beating both Ferraris and all.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Right, next up, we've got Romain Grosjean. Now, we're not going to do an R.
No, just because he almost fucking... The guy was pish.
Did great job to get out of that car, right? That was fantastic.
Worst, he's going in the worst category, and I just do not... I don't care.
He'll go above Albon.
He'll go above Albon, because Albon, with the machinery Albon's got, it's embarrassing for how bad he done. But, I mean, come on. That's what's needed.
Great he survived and all, but... The season was pish.
Yeah, I don't want him to die, but I mean, let's be real, he wasn't.
Great moment to go out on. Next up, Kevin Magnussen. Worst again, this guy. I mean, what probably his worst season in F1. What did he fucking do?
Yeah, but to me, he goes above Grosjean because he did get that point in Hungary where I feel like he kind of, he did. I guess he did all right. I mean, you could argue he kind of looked into it for starting on the tyres, but I don't know. To me, for that race alone, I think I've got to rate him above Grosjean.
Yeah.
Overall, though, neither of these guys were good, and I don't think they can complain at losing their drives. I mean, 2016 actually did all right, but I mean, the last couple of years, they've had too many poor moments, and albeit the car isn't great, I don't think any of these guys can realistically, sit and cry really about losing their
Damn right.
Next
up, we've got Kimi. I actually think Kimi had that bad of a season, but there was some instance where he was bad. He was fit to qualifying last, and I think he got out qualified by a Giovinazzi over a season, and I don't see anything worse than bad.
Yeah, it was a
I'll
bad
put him
season.
above Ocon, but
I mean, it was a bad season for Kimi. I don't think he's going to be, bragging too much about this one.
Next up, though,
probably need to consume a lot of vodka to forget about it.
Yep, and talk about vodka, Russian vodka. Daniel Kvyat. Was it bad, or was it what you just come to expect of this guy? I'd probably say it was what you come to expect of this guy.
Danny Kvyat, I'm probably going to disagree with me here. I don't think I'd put him in bad.
I'd put him in average. That's what I wanted him in. Some good races. Are
you putting him in good?
Oh, no. Wrong one.
I mean, I think you can make a case for good, but I think we'll settle for average because he did get the first 2/3 of the season. He did get pretty much bossed by
yeah.
Next
up, we've got Lando Norris. People hype this guy up. I think he's no bad, but I don't think he's worn anything above good.
No, I think Lando Norris is massively overrated.
I'll put him. He's above Giovinazzi, but that's not much saying much. Next up, though, we've got Nicholas Latifi. Obviously, only outqualified his teammate once, and it's when it was Jackie Aitken, not George Russell. So I don't think. And in the race, he isn't even that bad. But you know what? Well, compared to Russell, but he is pretty bad, and I'm going to put him bottom of bad.
I mean, this guy, he's not that good, is he, really? I mean, how much longer will he be sticking around in F1? Personally, don't know. Does he warrant a drive? I mean, in the races, I don't think he's that bad compared to what Russell does, but yeah, not a massive fan of the guy. And I don't think he had a good... He got out-qualified by Russell every race, so I mean, for that reason alone, it's got to be a bad season.
Yep. Next up, though, we've got Charles Leclerc. Fantastic season in that heap of shit, but I don't think I'm putting him in the best. I think there was quite a lot of mistakes in there.
There was, but I mean, I think he had a great season.
Nah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm putting him in great, but not best. What do you think about that?
No, I think that's fair.
I would say he impressed me more than Gasly. Because I honestly don't think there's much in that Ferrari.
Yeah, there was times where he was getting like fourth and shit like that.
Third in qualifying, and there's no right for that Ferrari to be there.
No, and again, he kind of dismantled Vettel, who... I guess we don't really know what Vettel has left in the tank, but...
Yeah. Next up, though, we've got Hamilton. Now, obviously, people are like, oh, you got to put him in best, 7-time world champion. But I think I would have maybe put him in best. And you might be like, well, you're not putting him in best, right? But we've got to factor stuff in here. Look at George Russell did in that one race for Mercedes. It literally looked like Hamilton was still there. And to me, Hamilton's the man, 7-time world champion, right? But like Max Verstappen said, 90% of the grid would win in that Mercedes, and that's probably an understatement.
I think Russell kind of proved that, though.
Yep. And was it Hamilton's best season? Yes, he had that race in Turkey. Yes, he won by like 30 seconds in Portugal. But is it anything less than you'd expect?
Yeah, did he do anything this season that he didn't do previous
He won the bulk of the races against Bottas, who was like realistically the only other guy who could win in merit.
Yeah, I mean, so...
And I think... I'd probably... Where would you put him? Top of the list of great, or would you? I honestly think Leclerc, or Max in that Mercedes this season would have beat him.
Yeah.
I think what Leclerc was doing in qualifying just shows, well, if he was in a car,
Yeah.
I'd put him in. I'm putting him in between Leclerc and Gasly.
I think that's fair.
I think some of the stuff Leclerc did actually shocked me. Like that must. I mean, nothing Hamilton did. Like the whole thing in Turkey was good, managing the tyres, but you know, what I mean, it's Hamilton. Right, next up we've got Max Verstappen. Kept this season interesting for large parts. What this season would have been like without this guy, fuck knows.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
I mean, could you imagine if it was 2 Albons in that Red Bull? I mean, Jesus Christ.
It would have been not good. I can assure you, brother.
But again, with Max, I think there's quite a lot of mistakes in there.
Yep. Like in Turkey, he should have won that race, and his arse collapsed.
But it's hard. It depends how you look at it. You could look. We don't really know how good the Red Bull is. I mean, you could look at it going, well, he was fucking great, you know, to be anywhere near, like, winning races and stuff. Or you could maybe look at it in a different way that, well, he only won one race or whatever, you know, it's...
He won 2 races.
Well, you get my point, like, you know what I mean? It's,
And a pole position.
well,
And a car that's inferior.
yes, well, you
I'd put him in between. Was he? Where were you putting him?
Can you really put him above Hamilton?
That's what I'm saying. Where are you putting him?
Honestly, I'd probably put him in between Ricardo and Gasly. I think Gasly had a better season. That's not to say that Gasly would beat him. I'm not saying that, but that's not what this list is all about. It's not going on seasons, and for me, to Max to finish third in the standings is where he would have. That would have been the lowest possible. Even the guy himself, he said he wanted 5 wins and 5 poles this season. He didn't even predict. He predicted 5 wins, 5 poles, and second place in the championship. And what he got was third place in the championship, 2 wins and a pole. So, even by his own standards, like he failed.
He didn't think the Red Bull would be that pish. But yeah, I get your point.
Next up, Albon's great then.
No, he's fucking garbage. Next up, we have got Sergio Perez. And is this the only guy getting put in the best category?
I'd say so. I mean, I would say he had the best season. And to top it off, he gets rewarded with the Red Bull drive.
No, what's crucial about Perez? Not many mistakes.
No, the guy, very rarely you get an error from the guy.
Like, I'd say Leclerc probably impressed me more, but there was a lot of mistakes in there. With Perez, the only thing I can think of was when Albon hit his front wing. And
yeah,
won a race from back of the grid. Literally, single-handedly won himself the Red Bull seat.
And let's be real, see, without him missing those 2 races with COVID, how close could he have got to Max and Bottas? Plus, that race where his fucking engine went.
I know.
And he was doing really well. He was getting a podium.
Yep.
So, I mean, we're talking. He finished 4th, but to me, he was head and shoulders above everyone else. And that was with missing 2 races with COVID.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think the guy was phenomenal. I've
capable.
always thought he was good. I know a lot of people. Like, I don't think he's top tier elite, but to me, he's probably just in the level below that. And I'd say the guy's on par with the likes of Ricardo.
Yep. And next up, we have got George Russell.
I'd say I'd put him in good, right? Yeah, he out-qualified.
He always got the Williams out of Q3 or Q1 most times.
The MLS just, to me...
Oh, that's awful, yeah.
To me, I don't say I can't, for that reason alone, I can't really get many more than good.
In here...
I put him in top of good, like I would.
He walked into that Mercedes and you didn't even think it was fucking...
If he gets the point, if he finishes in the points in Imola and he gets the win in that Mercedes, then we could be looking at maybe... Could be looking at putting him first in the next category up, like, but
he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't.
Next up, though, we've got Carlos Sainz.
Don't think it was his best season.
Yeah, last year was probably better. Plagued with unreliability though and shit like that.
Yeah.
Just jobber shit.
It's really good drive in Monza. Maybe would have got the win if there was a few more laps left. Maybe top of good. Or do you think he had a great season?
Well, we've got to bear in mind here, McLaren got third in the drivers and the constructors.
Because of him, really? Not really because of both.
Uh,
Did Norris finish above him?
I'll put him in the bottom of great. No, he finished above Norris. But then you've got to factor in, guys, that Ferrari, Racing Point and Renault all had jobber number 2s.
Yeah.
And at that point, we're getting to 2 jobber number 2s. The 2 guys that will make up the Aston Martin
team
next
year.
up, though, we've got Lance Stroll. I don't think it was a bad season. I don't think it was good. I mean, there was glimpses of greatness with pole position, but then there was just glimpses of what this guy is, and that is towards the dog shit category.
But I think he's got it going good. I don't think you can put him in average. I think putting him in average would be unfair.
He got COVID, and and then he got pole, and then
I know it's cool to hate on Lance Stroll because we all feel like Hulkenberg should have his seat instead. No, not in the best. I'd probably put him ahead of Norris. To be honest, like, let's be real. That was a great pole position, and he was doing his job in that race up until that tyre change. It's not like he bottled it. He was doing a good job. He went to 1 because Hamilton was fucking on a mission. But I see no reason why the Racing Point couldn't have got both cars on the podium.
you know.
But for some reason, after that pit stop, it all went horribly wrong for the guy.
And talk about going horribly wrong in his swan song, Swingy Swan Swans year for Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel. Shit show.
His best moments were average at best, and that really sums up where he's going. Worst category for me, I've got to put him below both Haas drivers for the simple fact is the Ferrari car was bad, but I mean, I'm looking at what Leclerc did with it.
People will talk about what he did in that Turkish Grand Prix, right? But people have got to remember here, Leclerc was about a minute behind him, caught him up, overtook him, and then just made a mistake trying to get past Perez.
Now you could say, well, Leclerc's fucking a god or whatever, and that's true, but let's be real. Vettel's a 4-time world champ, so should he not have been able to pull out the same sort of performances as Leclerc was? I don't want to hear it about how a couple of times, bad pit stops and all that stuff, but in reality, what did Ferrari cost him at the most? Maybe a couple of points finishes here and there.
I know.
Like San Marino, yeah, they cost him about 15 seconds. But in the end, really, what did that mean?
He would have got about 9 for 10.
No, I mean, the guy finishes, say 12 instead of finishing maybe 9th. Would that really? Oh well, I mean, finish 9th. Let's put him in the best category. That's not how I mean. Come on. Yeah, there was some mistakes, but it was an awful season.
You see these people who think Vettel's going to go into Aston Martin, they're like, oh, he could challenge for the title, or he's going to pick up a few wins. You're fucking deluded.
Will he even beat Stroll?
No. And on that note, guys...
No, I'm not that confident like the Stroll hammering, but there you go. On that note, guys, that is our list there. We're going best, we're going Perez, good, we're going Leclerc, Hamilton, Gasly, Max Verstappen, Ricardo, and Carlos Sainz. Good, we're going Russell, Stroll, Norris, and Giovinazzi. Average, we're going Danny Kvyat and Bottas. Bad, we're going Kimi, Ocon, and Latifi. And worse, we're going Grosjean. We're going Magnussen, Grosjean, Vettel, and Alexander Albon. And that's the list. Let us know if you agree or disagree. I know if anyone bothers to comment, it'll be people commenting on that will put Albon, Russell, and Lando Norris too far down, because that seems to be people's favourites. I don't know why, but those three have got a lot of fanboys. And yeah, I'm not too sure why. I honestly don't know.
The British.
Is Albon any better than Lance Stroll? People say
that says worse.
People say Stroll's a pay driver.
So what's Albon? Pay as you go driver? Fuck's sake, he's pish.
Well, on that note, guys, we're out of here.